An alumni list, you guys will definitely, be part of the process where we will be pushing information for you all, whether for our meetings, whether for meetings that are happening in your own countries when we know about them, whether on initiatives that may offer you, a little bit more visibility or a little bit more opportunities for networking. So definitely, that's when I say hand holding, guys, it's really, all of that. Just make sure, if we're not proactive for any reason, push for it also, okay? You're allowed.
And I think also possibility of presenting our projects.
Absolutely.
As papers and,
Good. We'll definitely make sure that is part of the, the construct. The AIS is one of the platforms. Going forward, hopefully by next year, by the next AIS, we'll try and see if a few of you, for example, can come here and we can do, a workshop on innovation and entrepreneurship or whatever you want to call it. If a few of you can come and present some of the things that you're doing so the rest of the community may also know about them. Because ideas bring ideas. And the more we brainstorm, the more people see things, the more they think, oh my God, maybe we can do this too. Or related to your project, maybe we can do this too. So, and they may come up with things that even ourselves, we don't know. This continent is very vast. There are too many meetings, there are a few, projects going on, and we can't pretend to know them all. But we'll make sure that, what we know, and do not hesitate. That list is going to be there. If you have things also that you want to share with us, with the others, make sure to, put those on the list, and we'll try and see how we can convert that into something that is really to everybody's advantage. Okay. Fire is young, and one of the issues that we've had inside AFRINIC is that we weren't really a big team. I myself just came like 6 months ago. Patricia just joined. So making it happen, making the program known on the continent is only started now.
Basically setting up of a program wireless mesh network for campus, review, e-learning, and communication. In whom we are currently working in partnership with State Polytechnic, with funding from AFRINIC, and also technical support from Cape Peninsula University of Technology, South Africa, where the project is going to be implemented in State Polytechnic, State, Nigeria, and why currently State Polytechnic have over 15,000 students and thousands of staff, both academic and non-academic staff. So the current deployed network could support some data applications, but not the sensitive application like voice and other stuff. So reliability and availability of the network is also questionable. So usually the staff, students use their mobile phones in communication using the institution. So however, the cost of making the calls is also the major issue. So when the time frame for this project is 6 months, and how, so the project will provide alternative and reliable and easy means of communication for staff and students by exploiting the benefit of deploying the wireless mesh networks. So at the end of the project, local and cheaper means of communication in the campus will be provided. Also, the team will provide training and workshop for students and local technicians and staff members. Tools, the network will be made up of mesh of village terminals, which are called mesh potatoes. Each mesh potato features a wireless transceiver, telephone, and RJ45 interfaces, as well as industry standard PBX controller in a robust with a waterproof package. So the telephone interface will provide voice telephony services with the use of the traditional analog telephone boxes, while the RJ45 interface will provide connection to the corporate local area network for data and computer-based services. Thank you.
Okay. I think your peer will understand exactly what is it. I'm not trying to criticize you, but you need to unpack it again. For instance, what do you mean by mesh? in a fair way, and even you said e-commerce in your what?
E-learning.
E-learning. It also needs, sometimes we assume people know what e-learning is. It might be very useful also to explain what you mean by e-learning, what you mean by mesh potato, what makes it different from what is already going on. Mesh potato. Wireless mesh. It needs a bit of explanation. Imagine explaining this to your 9-year-old or somebody who's in primary school. Because if you're able to communicate at that level, then you understood everywhere. Yeah. That's the intention of this time.
Sometimes the difficulty arises from the technical words, how to explain, substantiate this kind of.
I think the best thing is to try to bounce it off someone who is from the social science.
Yeah.
If you can understand, then you've achieved it.
Yes. Sure. Thank you. That's fine.
So as per the declaration, what are we doing? We are providing a centralized online portal to monitor and promote online freedoms in Africa. Whom are we working with? SPESA is working with the Internet Society Uganda chapter, with the funding from AFRINIC and the Citizen Hub, Toronto. Where are we working? We are working in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Ethiopia, and the rest will come. Why do we think this is important? Why are we doing this? We think that currently internet freedoms are under siege in many parts of the world, including Africa, and there are signs that future governments are even taking, keener control, of this internet rights. So we think that it is important to document repressive internet policies and actions, present best practices from all over the world and also in Africa. Besides providing the centralized platform where this information can be accessed for researchers and practitioners, and probably give them news and updates. So when are we doing this? We started January this year, 2013. Currently, we have funding up to December 2015. And how are we doing this? We're doing this through research, mapping censorship incidents, developing advocacy materials, and convening meetings for sensitization. Tools we are using, one is our online portal, social media engagement, Facebook, Twitter, policy analysis, and also developing a toolkit for practitioners and activists to use.
This project is currently an implementation in Kenya that it aims to spread in the East African region, taking advantage of the common medical education and training legislation that's ongoing in the region. And this project is largely to take advantage of improving efficiency and capacity enhancement for the doctors, the few doctors that you have in the region. This is because there's a lot of inefficiency in doctors leaving their stations to go and attend meetings and conferences, leaving patients unattended. Therefore, it aims to provide content, medical content, to the doctors where they are, as they see their patients, to optimize on efficiency. This project was launched last year in September, and it aims to run for 2 years when it will be handed over to the Kenyan government through the Kenya Medical and Dentist Board. It's actually doing this through internet and mobile for medical content delivery. It's also providing online registration and relicensure of medical practice licenses, and also online reporting and monitoring of doctors' activities. It has already developed mobile phone application and also website systems to enable it achieve its goals.
We are doing a web portal to promote maternal health education and research in Africa. And it is Uganda Christian University, together with our Safe and Mothers program. And it is based in Uganda. And why? Universities are considered to be the elites in their countries and will become the decision makers and activists on other issues, including maternal health. We did a study in 2011 in collaboration with Kenyatta University and Chamberlain University. and we established that universities were playing a minimal role in improving maternal health. And so, actually, even in this study, only 4.8% and 4% of the lecturers indicated that universities have a responsibility for fulfilling the Millennium Development Goals. They could not identify the relationship between their course and maternal health. And we also realized that there was limited research that was conducted on maternal health, and there was a limited outreach program on maternal health. So we thought that universities have a role to play, and so we want to strengthen this. We want to enhance the role of universities in promoting maternal health in Africa, because it's an area that we might not achieve come 2015 as per the Millennium Development Goals. What we intend to do, we will promote electronic gathering of information about activities that are being carried out by the universities. We will increase dialogue among universities. The dialogue is to enable them to engage in maternal health care training and research. And then we will also provide, our web platform will also provide a forum for best practices, again in maternal health care, curriculum, training, and materials shared on the subject. Basically, that's what we intend to do.
The WAP question, it's a low-cost groundwater monitoring system for remote areas. I decided to leave the remote areas in it because stress that it can be installed in areas which are not accessible by normal telecommunication lines. The full question, this system shall be used by water resources management personnel in the country. We should also work with a partner in Mauritius which does the borehole drilling, and develop also a water analysis lab so that we can calibrate our results with lab results. Where the system should be deployable to in any borehole, irrespective of location in Africa, provided there is cellular network coverage for the telemetry function, so that we can collect data. Why? This project arises out of the need for optimum management of water resources, which should take into account the borehole replenishment capacity, especially as a function of the season, rainy season and dry season. And there is also the need to monitor the water quality in terms of the soluble mineral content as per the guidelines of the World Meteorological Organization. When we expect the project to kickstart in July and to be completed by December with collection of data. How? So the project will be developed through, we will develop it as a proof of concept consisting of various hardware and software components for the monitoring of one 40-meter deep borehole
application for early learning. The developers or researchers will be University of Zimbabwe, myself as students there. The beneficiaries will be focusing on disadvantaged early learners. Stakeholders would be the University of Zimbabwe Faculty of Education and Faculty of Linguistics, as well as the Ministry of Education, Sports and Culture, and the curriculum development units within the ministry. Those are our key stakeholders. We would like to focus on disadvantaged learners, which would be semi-rural and rural schools. The why is to improve learning and to build skills. We believe learning will improve with teaching in mother tongue and local content. And we also believe that ICT or mobile learning will prove to be an important tool to develop education in Africa. I'll say how first, because I think that leads into the when. So the how is to two parts. One is to develop a localized sonar text-to-speech application and open source platform that allow us then to read back text and then from there develop an early learning reading application that will help the children with their reading. The development application looking hopefully to be done by September, and then the pilot stage in schools will take over the next 6 months to finish by the end of the first term, which will be by March next year. The tools, we have Android development application, which is free online. We then obviously have to have the tablets. We have the teacher tablets, which will have a slightly different set of tools on it, and then the student learning platforms, which will be tablets. We also will be required to do some training and need some tools for that, mostly resources. We have evaluation tools, standard tests, surveys, interviews, and those sort of tools for evaluation.
You need to unpack early learning. Eventually, we need to want to mean by early learning in case somebody doesn't understand it. Early learning, like talking about people before primary school or
it's quite an open area. It's just the beginning learners. So in some places it's prior to it's grade 0 or earlier. In some places it's grade 1, grade 2. So I don't know how we would unpack that.
No, that's fine. Somebody might ask, say, what do you mean by it? Maybe that's the response that you're giving. Say these are people before. That's the take an explanation. It's quite useful. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, actually, my project intends to look on the availability and effectiveness of ICT resources, as well as identifying the gaps that of ICT in facilitating environmental and the socio-economic challenges. And actually, this project intends to identify and change the life of the people by the use of the ICT in terms of the education, healthy business, and the other economic perspectives like the environment and the agriculture. And most of the key people who will be involved is Arusha Technical College with the project, the principal investigators and data collectors, as well as the fire grants. Will also involve the community members from the selected project sites, involving the ICT professionals in terms of the healthy education, those who are involved in agriculture, at least to get the overview on what is available and how much is effective and what is the gap that we can identify and give out the best solutions, as well as involving the government officials in terms of from the district perspective to the local authorities. And this project is going to be done in 2 regions, of which we'll have to select 3 districts from each region. 3 districts from the urban areas and 3 districts in the rural areas. And the reason behind selecting of these 2 places because of the potential of the areas. At least they help to identify or to give us the real picture of what is happening in the cities, as well as what is available in the rural areas, especially the availability of these resources to meet the needs of the community members. And the intention of the project is to identify the available resources, ICT resources, the effectiveness and availability, as well as identifying the gaps that are there, but also recommend the best measures, either the government to the development partners, on the best ways to bridge the ICT gaps, as well as the team will deploy some of the applications that can best help the rural and the urban community members. The reason behind this is that there are a lot of initiatives that are done, like the installation of the national ICT broadband backbone in the country, almost all the parts, but also the telephone base stations and the telephone companies have covered almost the whole country. So we want to see how best can we effectively utilize this to meet the needs of the community members. Of which the project is intended to be done for 6 months, from 1st May to 30th of October, and it will use best ways and the alternatives to collect the information through the interviews, observations, reviewing the documents in terms of the policies, the regulations. We will also provide training and the workshops, as well as the suggestion of the best ways to improve access and use of ICT resources to bring the gap, as well as deploy new and simple ICT applications that are demands of the local community members, like the use of mobile technology, at least to help people in all social aspects, in terms of economy, in terms of agriculture, education, healthy, and environment. And the other tools that we use, for instance, the statistical package for social sciences software, we use for example, as well as the database management systems to finish up this project.
Implementation of a mesh infrastructure, which is basically just the ICT infrastructure, and the mesh is just the technology used, just to increase the ICT capacity in the area, and to supply broadband internet and inexpensive IT technologies. Ourselves, CommuniNet, the community of Westridge, which was planned, which is a township in Cape Town. AFRINIC, fire program, and village staff for the supply of the devices. Sorry. Westridge, which was planned, which is in Cape Town, South Africa, and hopefully other areas similar to ourselves. Why? There's poor ICT infrastructure in the area, low internet penetration, and there's many socioeconomic problems in this region. And we feel that technology can really make a difference in the area. Since 2010 to date, we started with 2 devices as a proof of concept, and we're now up to 10. And how? By just engaging with the local community, schools, conducting research in the areas, and obviously doing some marketing in the area, working closely with all spheres of government, village telco, fire, and the Wireless Access Providers Association of South Africa. And the tools, obviously the mesh potato, which is a wireless modem router, PABX system with Sutra functionality, and various computers and technologies best suited to the community's needs.
So yes, as you have seen, this exercise is meant to help you to explain your project. It's one way to present it, and even make a slide along these topics. It becomes very easy for people to understand what is that you're doing. The more you do it, the more it becomes clear to you, and if it becomes clear to you, then you can explain it in different ways and people can understand it. So that you can get more buy-in into your project. This is the main thrust that we've been trying to do with this exercise. So, well, this is it.
I was asking about the conclusion.
Okay, so
it ends with the tools. The story had.
Yeah, well, these are the main parameters. Yes, you could also do the conclusion if you want. We just give you a skeleton here of how you can present your story to diverse people who want to know exactly what are the real critical issues that you are doing. Sometimes the one who starts to explain because it's you who know it. It's called the case of knowledge. Sometimes when you know something, you don't assume you can't imagine what it is not to know it. So you think everyone understands it, and you're just explaining it, and so this is a guideline to try and help you to say this is how people can understand your work if you explain it along these lines. So this sort of ties in with what we've been doing all along, trying